In case no one has told you lately, you will get through the hardships and overcome the obstacles you face. Whomever you are, whatever you're going through, it will not last forever. Take a deep breath. Give yourself grace. And remember to show up for yourself. You got this. Welcome to Normalize the Conversation. I'm your host, Francesca Reicherter, and today I'm joined by content creator and mental health advocate from Brooklyn, New York, Sharpe Jr. Join us as we uncover the beauty of messiness, expressing emotions, and growth in an aesthetically pleasing world. Steven, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited for our conversation. But before we begin, I really just want to check in with you. How are you really?
I am kind of tired. I'm coming down from a pretty intense therapy session. I've been going through some pretty deep healing from trauma. So yeah, it's just it's kind of this after I want to say afterglow, because it is a positive thing, but yeah, it's like this realization of oh, the settling, oh wow, now that I'm not in my head and in my trauma, let me look around me and get grounded with this newfound knowledge that I have. It's really interesting.
It is. I love those therapy sessions where I learn something new and I dig just a tiny bit deeper than I have before.
Yeah.
And suddenly I have so much to process outside of therapy. And I'm like, this is just way too much homework, way too much homework. But I love it. Like sitting with that new knowledge and figuring out what that means, like how, like you said, not sitting in your thoughts, like something is actually making sense right now. It's
Exactly.
new, it's real, it's not just like the story I've been telling myself. I I love and hate those. How about you? How do you feel with that?
I feel pretty similarly. My therapist has asked me after sessions how I feel about newfound knowledge, and I'm always grateful that I know because I've gone through a lot of my life not really knowing what I was feeling. I would have certain emotions and not have language to say how I was feeling or language to explain the situation that led me to feel this way. So now that I'm going through therapy and putting names to the feelings that I've been having is it's exhausting, but it's also very I don't know, it's like this alignment, this clicking of oh wow, okay. So that feeling that I've been having has a name and it's not as bad as I think it is. It's a normal emotion. So yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. And then yeah, coming into real life and looking around, I'm okay, well, now I told my therapist I'm so hungry to understand myself more and how I interact with the world that I go into the world after my therapy sessions just being okay, how can I apply this, when I'm looking for opportunities to be wait, there it is again, I can do this outside of a session.
It's amazing. It's like that moment where you can finally snap your fingers and things make sense. Like you have the language.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, the language to understand what is happening, what you're feeling, and how to say it.
Yeah.
I spent so much of my life wanting to just like snap my fingers or take a magic pill and everything to be better. And then it's like
Yeah.
you get that one skill. And it's like what you've been waiting for to finally say, oh, I didn't make it all up. It's not in my head. I am anxious or I am angry, I'm frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, I'm jealous, I'm envious. Like you can figure out what you're actually feeling and then work toward that growth. Like you said, you can actually get somewhere. Because when you don't know, you really can't move forward because you don't know what you're dealing with yet.
Yeah, and you end up lashing out and grabbing at things that it might be. At least that's what I would do. I would feel so many things being okay, what is this? It's not this. This doesn't really align. This might be this. And just grasping at things because I just want answers quickly. And yeah, like once you have that, it's like, oh wait, this is it. And all it took was to just sit with that emotion. I think that was like the big aha moment for me, was instead of like grabbing at things to try and figure out what it is, but to sit with it and let the emotion tell me what it is.
It is so underrated, just sitting with your emotions. I know when I first started learning about like coping skills, I just had to try anything. Like I was feeling just
Yeah.
an emotion that I interpreted as negative and labeled as negative, and then I had to like fix it right away. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stay in it because now I know about coping skills. Something's got to work. I'm grasping at straws trying to figure it out. And the most, I think, impactful moment of my life was sitting in that feeling of sadness and grief and allowing myself to feel so that I could process and heal instead of just trying to kind of distract and numb the pain so that I wouldn't have to feel it.
Yeah, wow. Like the way you, I just got chills. Like that was that was actually something that I really struggled with, is sitting in these sad feelings. And through talking about it, I realized it was a lot of it had to do with vanity and how I looked when I cried. Even if I was by myself, it was so weird. Like I would just be so conscious of like how ugly I would cry. But yeah, it's like once you sit in it and just like let it flow through you. I also was like afraid that I would never stop crying. Like that's how sad I was. Like I don't know if you felt that before, but like,
Just stuck in a permanent, like Kim Kardashian crying face forever. A genuine fear of mine. I would look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, this is worse than Kim Kardashian's crying face.
the reference that I think about. So funny you said that. It's like literally the face that I think about. I'm just like, I can't do that to
Right. And then it's like how long it continues on. You're like, it's been like 10 minutes and my face hasn't changed. And you know, when you're little, they tell you, like, oh, if you frown, your face is going to freeze like that. So then I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, my face is going to freeze in this ugly cry. People are no longer
myself.
going to put up memes of Kim Kardashian. It will be me.
Face, your forehead all scrunched up, and your nose just like snot and tears. It's just a mess. But it's necessary. Like
It
I
is
don't know,
necessary.
I don't know who came up with this idea of like the cute cry. Like who
Yeah.
are they?
Who cries cute? Please let me know. Like you said, I was so afraid to cry for so long because I didn't want people to like see how I was crying and what I looked like. I don't think I've ever, unless it's like on TV and in a movie and staged very well, seen someone cry in like a very attractive like, way.
Yeah, I don't see it. Like you'll see like people with like the one tear. I'm like, how can I master that emotion? Like, how do I master that skill? Because that's the type of like solemn crying that I'm like, I can process my emotions, but can I be aesthetically pleasing?
And I think that that
God.
summarizes our world today is we're all looking on how to be aesthetically pleasing. Even like posting on social media and trying to be authentic about it, it's still how do I make this aesthetically pleasing so people want to follow my profile, right? We're
Yeah.
so obsessed with being aesthetically pleasing in every aspect of our lives now.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I feel like it's one of the barriers to even talking about mental health, because, it's messy. We can't really dress up trauma or anxiety or sadness or, abuse. We can't dress that stuff up, and it's not going to be aesthetically
Yeah.
pleasing. So so in an effort to make it aesthetically pleasing for social media, you end up like watering it down, and it's giving people this idea that is completely surface level, and it's really detrimental.
It is. That is so true. It's very, very surface level because, like you said, it's messy. And we're
Mhm.
taught to not be messy. You know, when you're a kid, you're taught to clean up right away. When you post something, you do something, you're kind of taught to check what's commenting, people looking to turn
Yeah.
off their comments or delete because you never know what someone's going to say. We're taught to make everything like a picture perfect image, whether it's the way we clean up our toys when we're young, organize our room or our office as we get older, and now posting on social media. And when you're so subconsciously afraid of a mess, how are you going to allow yourself to enjoy the messiness of life? Like, it has to be messy. Like, that's what's so great. There was a quote on Grey's Anatomy one time that was like, life's a beautiful mess, something along those lines, but way
Oh
better
yeah.
said. And that's so accurate. We have to be messy. And we're so afraid to be messy. We're afraid to be ourselves. We're afraid of the human experience.
Yeah, and that's truly it. It's like it's a human experience. Like the fact that it was even hinted that it could be prettied up is kind of awful. Like, I don't know if I could swear on here, but
Yeah, you're good.
I'm like, it's fucked up. It's
It
really fucked
is.
up.
It really is. Like, I just, I think about the younger generation who's growing up with social media already a thing and well established, right? Like when we're growing up, social media is forming and we're kind of establishing the trends. We're figuring it out and we're dictating it. But now these kids are growing up in a world that's already aesthetically pleasing, that everyone already has their colors formatted for what their life is going to look like. I have one friend who her whole family is just really likes to dress in neutral colors now, and that's everything they do, from their house decorations to the way they dress to the photos, like the filters and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. 100%. I love that they do it. They do it so well. But their whole aspect of their life is aesthetically pleasing to one aesthetic that they've created altogether. And when we're kind of looking at that in a metaphorical way, if we're looking for everything to be the exact same, kids are growing up looking for everything to be the exact same. So when one thing's different, one sad emotion, everyone else is smiling and I'm crying, it is that internalization to a bigger extent than ever before of what's wrong with me? Why don't I fit into this picture perfect world?
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Like even looking at it from a high level perspective of how like essentially millennials created social media as an aesthetically pleasing platform, a place to show the highlight reels of your life. And now this newer generation who has grown up in this space is like, yeah, I see this, but like you said, like everyone else is smiling, I'm crying, like there's something wrong. But now also but now they're all connected through social media. So they're all talking to each other, being like, yeah, I'm feeling the exact same way. And it's creating this like anti-movement like of an aesthetic. And I actually have learned quite a bit from just, you know, I've learned quite a bit from the younger generation that's creating content on social media. Um, and I've been learning to let go a little bit and show some messiness and to not to not harp so much on these small, minute details that no one's going to pay attention to.
Wait, I love that. I love seeing the younger generation really change everything for us and being so honest, so willing to have conversations, so willing to even like show up voting, like in every aspect of the world.
Yeah,
They're really going against kind of what the norms have been for so long. It's amazing.
it really is. And I find it interesting just like how the discourse online is like millennials versus Gen Z and like how we're at odds with each other. And it really should be like, I mean, I know I'm not going to be a Gen Zer. I don't want to dress like them. I don't want to talk the way they're talking. I don't really care about that. But I'm like, we can look at this younger generation and glean things from them that aren't going to make them cringe.
Yeah.
Like
And
learning how to be messy a little bit.
yes, and learning from each other. I mean,
Hmm.
it's so powerful when communication is happening, when we're seeing, I mean, millennials grew up in a world of technology and seeing how it unfolds in life and how what consequences do look like on social media. Old
Yeah.
enough to see that did it really play out in college admissions and how? How did it play out in jobs? Because everyone tells you what you post is going to follow you forever. So millennials can really tell you what that actually means and what that looks like. Versus Gen Z can really tell you how to be honest and not be afraid to go against what everyone else is doing. But then there's that added element of Gen Z growing up in a world where everything is so, I want to say everything is so black and white, but it kind of like what they were presented. And now they're really starting to add color and shine light on everything that all the gray areas that have been hidden for so long. And
Hmm.
that's very powerful, but a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that is a lot of responsibility. Like the way you painted it out like that, it's true. Like we're things that I can really just speak for myself, like things that I would just not blink an eye at normally, like having someone on TikTok bring up a topic, and I'm like, oh, wait, let me think critically about the situation and context instead of just like brushing over it because it's just like what everyone does. No one's really questioning it. And that's so then it must be fine. But Gen Z is like, actually, like, do you know what the implications of this is if when you're looking at it as a whole?
Go Gen Z, honestly. We don't get enough credit. There's not enough credit for Gen Z.
Truly, and I wish to have their energy because like I'm in my rest phase where I'm just like I'm tired. I'm trying to heal from trauma. I will clap for you and donate to you and and just support you guys as much as possible.
Right? It's hard when you're healing and going through it. And I wonder how it's going to play out years from now within the next generation. Are they going to grow up knowing what coping skills are and like know the language? Like, are they going to be so well adapt that they just know what to do? Because these conversations are happening, right? Millennials are starting to have these conversations too. The next generation of parents are having these conversations. So, are people going to grow up just knowing what to do? Are people not going to have to go through this level of trauma and struggle that we have and not know what to do until like 10 years down the line when it feels overwhelming and too far that you finally have like either you are like put in a hospital or you finally are like, wait, no, maybe I do need help and that's okay.
Um, I honestly think that, and I think that they're being given the communication tools to even express those things. I don't think that it won't happen and that they won't experience traumatic things, but I do think that it won't take as long to process through them and heal from them. I think just from my own experience, if I had a safe space or people to talk to or peers that could support me in giving me language for what I was experiencing, I would have avoided so many like stressful situations. There are a lot of friendships that probably wouldn't have dissolved. There are like a lot of relationships that like wouldn't have, you know, just like they're just my life would just be so much different. And I'm already seeing it now, like some of my friends are having kids and they're teaching their kids like to communicate, like even babies, they're teaching them sign language to be able to communicate. And it's creating like a calmer child. Like the children that can actually like use sign to communicate before they can start speaking can actually like they're so calm because they're not having to scream and shout
Yeah.
to communicate, but they can be like, ooh, like more or this, that, and the third. So I think that it's more about like I feel like it'll be more like we're teaching them more communication skills and giving them a support system or at least access to a
Yeah.
support system that's as big as the world.
Yeah, the impact of communication skills of being able to say, I need help, and someone being able to say, I'm here for you. right? You get
That's
that
so
validation.
powerful.
Yes, so powerful. And to see the direction that we're heading with that, because like you said, if you had the language, if you had that support system, if you had people who knew what to say, if you knew what to say, all these little pieces, if that was available, how different it would have been. Because like trauma is never going to end. The world is unfortunately never going to be perfect. It's never going to be sunshine and
Mhm.
rainbows. Bad things are constantly going to happen, and we're going to be very well aware of it, and it's going to impact us. But imagine being able to cope with that, communicate how you're feeling, understand how you're feeling, process and cope, and be able to move through it and not grow up to that point where it's so like inept in your mind that you have to be resilient. You have to be resilient. You have to be strong and resilient, and defining strength and resilience as suppressing it all, suppressing it
Yeah.
all and just keep going. What if strength and resilience are getting through and coping and like communicating?
Yeah, that's I'm so glad you said that because strength and resilience is portrayed as just stuffing it down and pushing through and neglecting your body and your mind to just, go, go, go and get through it. And it having this understanding that it's almost like a delayed adolescence in a way. Like if you're just suppressing the emotions that you're having to just be an adult about it and move on from it. That child that is being suppressed does not get to evolve into an adult. So we start reacting to situations as children because we haven't developed the communication or like the emotional intelligence to approach it like an adult. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the danger of just squashing things down, especially like the younger you are, the more you squash down, the worse it gets.
Yes. And then people are like, stop acting like a child, grow up. But if you never were given the chance to grow up, it's not your fault.
It really isn't.
I don't understand how this has been the norm for so long. I mean, looking back at your own journey in your own life, how do you see all these small things that we've been talking about play out?
Oh, wow. That's such a big question.
Not to make it difficult for you at all.
No, I think I'm I'm pretty early on in my healing journey. So I've only been really working hard at it for about a year. Um, but I am starting to see just how how valuable it is to be able to, I don't know, I always bring it back to communication because I feel like that's the most
Important.
powerful thing that's happened to me. Like even in my relationship, I'm able to go to my partner when like there was a situation where he was like, "Hey, like I need this from you in these situations when I'm not feeling this way, or I'm not feeling happy, or I'm feeling pretty down." And I, in my trauma, was like, realized I was like, I started to panic, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. So instead of just like stuffing it all down and like just trying to frantically move through it, I went to him and I was just like, "Hey, I was like, I heard what you said, and I want to honor that, and I want to be here for you. But right now, I'm in this state of mind, and like, I will try my best to give you what you need, but it's very difficult for me because I'm being triggered in these certain situations based on things that have happened in my past." So like even moments like that, to be able to be like to tell David like, "Hey, like I want to be here for you. I'm going through my own thing and I need you to be patient and like work with me. I'm doing exactly what I can." He was like, "Oh, thank you so much for telling me," instead of having me think that like you don't care. So like little things like that, like I just see, I don't know, I see myself opening up to and having more compassion for so many people in without them having to explain themselves. Like and I feel like I don't know. I live a life devoid of drama because I basically, because I'm so honest with my friends and because I started to develop like communication styles that are going to convey exactly what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. Like my friends know that if there's something going down, like to just tell me, to just use their words. And yeah, it's really transformative.
Isn't it funny how just learning how to communicate and be honest with how you're feeling and what you're going through changes everything? It
It really
saves
does.
it saves so many relationships. I know, like I can totally resonate with what you're saying. You know, when someone says, "Oh, I need this from you," and you don't know how to do it or what that means from you, and you're trying to figure out your role within that and wanting to like spiral so hard because it's so easy to be like, oh my goodness, I can't be this for them. I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I'm done. They're not going to want to talk to me ever again. I ruined everything. Like I go down that rabbit hole within like a second.
Yeah.
I went
Yes,
from
same.
you asked me for something so reasonable and you now hate me in a second. I can drop that far. So learning the communication skills to say, I'm struggling right now too, but I will do my best to be here for you. Or, I don't actually know how to do this. How can I
Yeah.
do this? How can I best support you? What does that actually look like for you? Right? Just being
Mhm.
able to ask a question or be honest that I don't know what that means or I'm not in a space where I can offer that right now. How many
Yeah.
relationships I've been able to rebuild and cultivate in a healthier way because I didn't just spiral and make up a story in my head and now they hate me and I'm going to avoid answering any phone calls because they're going to yell at me. When really they're probably like, why did you stop answering all my texts suddenly?
Exactly. And this is what we call healthy confrontation. Like I tell people, I'm like, I'm a very confrontational person, and they think it's a negative thing. But like confrontation is just not letting things slide that are gonna cause issue later on. And like, in those situations where you're like, hey, like I don't know what to do, like what is what you're asking for look like to you? They may have an answer, but they also might not have an answer. And it might question in them being like, huh, what does that look like? How can I go through myself and be like, okay, like what specifically do am I asking of this person? Like, how do I dig a little bit deeper? And it creates a conversation. Now no one's mad at each other. Now they're just trying to support and understand each other.
Yes, exactly. And it opens the room for a conversation on how can I also do this for you? Because I am asking for a lot of communication on your end or a lot of grace and patience. How can I now also offer that to you? Right. And it becomes
Yeah,
a lot more supportive instead of one person asking for something, the other person being afraid to ask what that means, and then trying to overcompensate and do too much or not enough or just not know and
yeah,
panic, and then the other person's needs aren't getting met, the other person doesn't even know what their needs are and can't, like, it's just, that's how this happens.
yeah. It really is. And like once it's so funny. Like once I realized that, like I I might get emotional just talking about it. It's like I think about all of the situations in my life where I just spiraled and spiraled and just like ghosted people and abandoned them because I didn't know what to say and I didn't know how to ask, like, ask questions or be a little bit more curious or even just like look at myself and be like, okay, like, is this something that I can work towards or something that I just truly cannot give? And yeah, it's really transformative. And I keep saying that, and I feel like it doesn't really quite encapsulate what that means. But I don't know. I'm just I'm this grateful in this grateful feeling of like just so grateful that like we can have conversations like this and share with people being like, hey, like it's okay. Like I know that you're just afraid to be wrong or like afraid to say the wrong thing or like afraid to like not know something, but it's okay to like not know something. We also like something that I don't remember who said it or whether I read it somewhere. It's like we teach people around us how to communicate with us. And like that whole asking of the question is like, okay, like I may know how to do something for me or do it something for someone else, but what does that look like for you? Like, how do I make this more tailored to what your situation is.
Yes. Oh, I love that. It's so important that we learn that it's okay to ask questions. It's okay not to know. And one thing I learned very recently, and when I say recently, I mean like a month ago,
Oh,
was how to apologize and apologize in a way that's beneficial for the other person, not to make myself not feel guilty. Right. And how
yes.
to go to somebody who maybe I haven't talked to in a long time. I saw an old friend that I hadn't really talked to in like 2 years. And I was like, I know we're not close anymore, but I really just want to apologize for my role in this. And for me, it was like, I genuinely was so like satisfied with my life to not have to talk to that person. Not because I
Yeah.
like don't love them and don't care about them, but I didn't have to like admit that I was wrong at all. Right. I didn't have
Yeah.
to admit my role in it. I could just be like, yeah, we're not like mutual relationship to kind of die down. Both of us made so many mistakes, and it's like I harbor no hate. I know that they harbor no hate. However, to just be like, no, I was wrong, and like I genuinely am sorry. Like I got no benefit from saying I'm wrong. I hate being wrong. Like genuinely,
Yeah.
you
Me
won't
too.
ever see me and be like, no, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And for me to just and not be like, but you did this, right? Like
Mhm.
I did this, but you did this. It was solely like, I apologize for my role, and that's it. Like, it was
Yes.
amazing to just communicate, like, I was wrong, and I genuinely am sorry.
Yeah, that's like all accountability is. It's just like setting your pride down and be like, you know what? I was wrong. And like you may not even believe that you were wrong, but to them that you were in the wrong and you
Yeah.
hurt them. And that is what the apology is for, is to absolve that and, either explain yourself or to try and understand more about the situation. But it should never be like turning the conversation back on them, especially if you were the one that did something.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I was never taught that because when people would apologize to me for something, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry about this, but you did this, right? It was so quick to
Yeah,
like put it back to me. And then I felt guilty and shameful. So I thought that's what an apology was. Right? Or it
yeah,
was just like, I'm sorry, but there was no
yeah,
like explanation or meaning behind it. It was like, I'm sorry. Let's
yeah.
never talk again. Goodbye.
I would always be like, I know that you did this and this and that, but I'm sorry for doing this in response to that. Like it would be so bitchy.
Right?
So
Because
I
it's like,
get it.
that's kind of what we're taught, right? Like, I don't know. I think that's learned behavior. That's how people apologize to me. So that's how I apologize to people. And I mean, I'm very far into my therapy journey. It's been like 4 years, and I just now learned how to properly apologize in a way that wasn't like, I'm sorry and that's it. And it wasn't like, I want an apology back from them. It wasn't trying to place blame. It was just like genuinely being like, I'm sorry and hugging it out after. Like, it was fine.
Yeah, because it's also like a very lonely. It's a lonely thing. An apology is a
Yeah.
lonely thing. Like, and people want company. They want to be like, they are so comfortable with the idea that we're both in the wrong. We're both in this. But like, do you really want you both to be in the wrong? Like, if one of you did something wrong, just admit that and like sit with that emotion of whether it be shame, like sit with it, explore it, ask it questions, figure out where it's coming from. But like that's you. But like don't bring other people into the bad things that you did.
Yes, exactly. And I think for me, that was one part that was so bad for my mental health, was spending
Yeah,
years of trying to figure out how I could blame other people for their role and then what was to blame for me, and trying to like isolate it out into why it was their fault or why it was just my fault or why it was both of our faults, instead of just,
justification.
yeah, trying to justify everything and putting myself down a rabbit hole and over analyzing, when in reality I could easily tell you what I did wrong, and I could have learned how to let it go, not how to let it go, but how to make peace with it and understand that I was wrong. It's okay that I was wrong, but it's not okay if I continue to act that way and have that behavior. It's not okay if I don't
Yeah,
learn from it. So it was okay that I was wrong. I'm allowed to be wrong. It's not okay if I continue to be wrong when I know better. I didn't know better then. I know better now. So now
exactly.
that I've got, like, I can get to that point where it's like, that's okay that I was wrong. I know what was wrong. I know how I can fix it. There's no excuse now for me to not be a better person instead of spend so much time trying to justify everything and then tear myself down even more, right? Because when you're trying to justify it and when you can't
Mm-hmm.
justify and it's all you want to do and you want to blame someone else
Mm.
so badly and you can't, like, it genuinely was you. And then I hated myself for it. And I just kept like reliving moments over and over in my head and what I should have done, what I did wrong. When in reality, I could have just learned from it, owned up to it, apologized instead of spending years spiraling trying to prove it wasn't me.
Yeah, wow, that I've definitely felt like that, and it's such a gross feeling of like
Right.
I can't find any more excuses. But
Right.
also, congrats to you, to like to come to this place where you're like, hey, I know how to do this thing, and I know how to do it in a healthy way. Like that's worth celebrating. Congrats to you.
Thanks and congrats to you. I mean, look at how much progress. I mean, looking back to yourself a year ago before your healing journey, what would you say, other than communication skills? Communication skills so important, by the way. Love
I
that.
know.
What do you think is like one moment that you can say was like you can see your progress? So you could explain like from where you were to where you are now.
Hmm.
That was a really on
I
the spot question. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm trying to think of it. I want to say I I'm real there's from a year ago, I care less about what people think about what I'm doing, and I'm just focusing more on what I'm doing. And I know that's such like a simple thing, but like I was raised in an environment where, I was very like responsible for a lot of emotions of for other people, and I was always cognizant of like where everyone was. For context, I suffer from complex PTSD, um, and so like I would always just be so conscious of what everyone else was doing because I felt unsafe, and it I thought I had ADHD because I was like I cannot focus on what I'm doing, but it was because I was just so hyper aware. And now I feel so much more in my body. I feel so much more focused. Like I don't know, it's like once I started accepting and accepting the bad things that were happening in my life and the trauma that I experienced, and like really letting it be like, okay, instead of just like having it pop in my head and be like, whoop, in the box it goes. Instead of just doing that, being like, wait, before it goes there, let's sit with this for a second because it's coming up for a reason. And let's look at the context. Like now I just take them, I look at them and I cry. Like, and it's messy, but like now I can like actually like figure out who I am outside of the perceived watchful eyes of everybody else.
Wait, I love that. And I know you said in the beginning it sounds so simple, and it does sound simple, and here's why. People always say, "Oh, just don't pay attention to what someone else thinks." And you're like, "Okay, like that sounds like such a simple task. Just don't care. Just focus
Yeah.
on you. Just focus." It's not. Anyone who is ever, I mean, all of us, we're humans. That's what we do. It's like we sometimes worry about what other people are thinking about us.
Yeah.
And to get to a point where you can say, I'm focusing on me and I'm actually focusing on being in my body now, living in the present, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing. That is such a huge development. That is a year's worth of growth and healing and progress that you can't get without putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of willingness to be messy, like you said. It is so
Yeah.
powerful, but it's not a snap your fingers quick fix like we often think it is.
As much as we really wanted to.
Right? I really want like a genie. I just want to rub the magic lamp and get 3 wishes.
I've
But
literally just been in tears, just being like, I just want it to be over.
right? Or for me, it's like, I just want to be normal. Like, I just want to fit in and not
Yeah.
like worry so much because people are like, oh, just don't worry. And I'm like, okay, so other people don't worry. It's normal to not worry. And now I'm here worried about everything. And now I'm worried what you're thinking about me knowing that I'm worried. Right? It's just going down that rabbit
Spiral.
hole again.
Yeah.
The story of my life, I fell down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
And every second it's just going. We're getting there. The rabbit hole is going to end. We'll see the bottom one day.
It always ends. And like it's funny just like how like I'm sure you can relate to this, but like once you're in it, it feels so all encompassing. Like then once you're out of it, you're like, wait a second. Okay, so like these things aren't going to last forever. Great. But like you almost kind of have to, at least for me, I'm like, I kind of have to continue to go through these processes of like going over these humps to be like, oh, okay, like I'm slowly but surely I'm going to realize that when I start having like, a panic attack or, I start feeling depressed, that it's not going to last.
Yeah.
It's not going to last forever. Or like if I'm crying, it's not going to last forever. Like it's just I don't know. That was big for me as well because I was like I always felt like I was just gonna feel these things forever.
Yes, I mean, your face isn't going to be frozen, that Kim Kardashian crying face forever. It does. It feels all encompassing. It feels so overwhelming when you're in it, and that's okay. That's the thing
Mhm.
is that's okay. It's okay to feel like you're stuck in a dark tunnel. When you're in a dark tunnel until you get to the light, it feels never ending, right? You're
Yeah,
in a dark tunnel. You have to get to the light and then you can look back and see how long the tunnel was and you can see the pieces of it and you can see what you overcame and understand it from a new lens. But while you're in
exactly.
it, and that's all that it is right now, that's okay. It's okay for it to feel all encompassing and overwhelming and too much. It's okay to admit that, but it does not have to last forever. It very well could last forever if you don't allow yourself grace, if you don't
Mm,
reach out for support, if you don't think you're willing or not willing, worthy of support, if you don't think you're worthy of support, it
yeah,
could if you don't see how much you're worth and you don't put in that work and effort and love yourself. It won't last forever. It really won't, as long as you're willing to show up for yourself. I think that was
yeah,
something that I struggled with for so long was thinking, okay, well, it's not gonna last forever. Time heals all. It's gonna move on. It's gonna move on. But it lasted for so much longer than it probably would have if I known that it was okay to reach out for help. It was okay to
yeah,
admit that I didn't know what to do. It was okay to love myself and not punish myself every day, right? If I
yeah.
just gave myself permission to not be okay and be messy in the tunnel instead of trying to fight the fact that I was there.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's really, really powerful. And I think also like that sense of self is like really important, like you said, like to really be like, I am worthy of help and support and or even like in my case, I was like I was really good at like self-soothing and taking care of myself. But then when I hit a wall, I didn't know what to do. And I didn't even know that I was like needing help. Someone had basically told me, they were like, hey, like this thing that happened, like, are you okay? Like you might need help. And I struggled for so long just being with just knowing that I would need help, just knowing that like I could not on my in my own power overcome the feelings that I was having. Like it's one of the reasons why I'm so compassionate for people who um who are hesitant to, go on their healing journey and then or go to therapy or do whatever, what have you, because it is a hard thing to just get to that point to be like, I need help. And I think I should be worthy of help and let me try and ask people around me to help me.
I think that's the hardest part. I think the hardest part is just admitting that you're worthy and loving yourself enough to know that it's okay to not be okay, that you can ask for help, that people actually want to help you. Oh my goodness. For me, I was like, no one's going to want to help me. I don't deserve it. I just kept telling myself that story over and over again. And when I reached out, there's so many people. I mean, my best friend, I can just send her a screenshot of like a mean text someone will send me, and she'll be here before dinner time and just like
Oh,
know that I know she's the best. I really don't know what I did to deserve her. I love her so much. Sam, if you're listening, I know you're not, but I love you. Um,
props to you, Sam.
right? Like
Good
the other
going, Sam.
day, I sent her like a screenshot of a text someone sent me, and she was like, okay, I'll be there. And she was at work. So as soon as she got off work, 2 hours, she was here and she was cooking for me and just making
That
something
is
that I
so
like.
kind.
It's so kind because guess what? When she wants somebody there for her, needs someone there for her, I'm going to do it too. Right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
love each other, because we're both worthy of having people in our lives who love us and support us. And that's the thing is if I had never reached out the first time, I never would have known that she cared. I would have told myself a million times she didn't. Known her my entire life, literally 2 decades. And it took a long time for me to say, no, Sam, I'm not okay. I need help.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Like, and just I just know like that's probably like led you into just like a deeper friendship as well.
Yes, to know that a deeper friendship and a deeper relationship with myself because now I know that I'm never actually alone, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing when you realize, like, hey, I'm not alone. I'm not in this alone. I am worthy of support. People will actually show up for me.
Yeah.
I can do this. That mindset shift in that moment of someone just of reaching out and them just being there changes everything. Like I will credit my ability to get through some things that I sometimes don't know how I do with knowing that Sam is going to show up. And if she can't show up, she will be on FaceTime. She will call, she will text, she will send me like a Starbucks gift card. Like she will just do something so small or something so huge to make sure that I know that I'm not alone.
Oh, that is so kind and also like extremely powerful. Like, because it's like the thing I like latched onto is the fact that you're like even when she can't, she finds ways within her capabilities to support you. I think that's so powerful because like a lot of times we're like, oh, like, you know, we might not have the exact same time as everyone else, or like we assume that like, oh, like they have a full-time job, at least for me. I'm just like, oh, they have a full-time job, like they don't have like time or space for me. People will make time and space for you if they want to, when they love you. Like these are things that like people are capable of. Also, like people love feeling useful. So like if you're just like, hey, I need support, like I'm not doing well, like can you help me? People will be like, yeah, especially if they love you. They'll be like, yes,
Yeah.
of course. Like, what do you need? I'd love that.
Right? It's so important. And it all goes back to communication. Like we've been saying
Yeah.
this whole time. It's so important to show up for yourself, to be willing to say you're not okay, to if you can access therapy. Therapy is a really great tool. It's not accessible for everyone, which really, really sucks because everyone deserves it. But it really is a great tool if you have the ability to access it, or if you have a support group, friends, loved ones, people to reach out to and just let them know that you need support. You are worthy of it. Stephen, as we're wrapping up and running out of time, what's one piece of advice you can give to someone who's listening, who's afraid to reach out?
Oh. Um, hmm. I would say, hmm. I would say don't worry about the response. Like when you're reaching out and asking for help, don't worry about the response. I think when I was at my low points and I would want to reach out, I would think like, how will they respond? And then how will I respond to that? And like play out a conversation in my head because I just want to feel like I don't want to open myself up to this person and then be like smacked down and, left out in the cold. But it's like, firstly, find your person. But also, like, don't worry about what they're going to say. They do love you. If you know that they love you, accept that they love you and just get the words out. Just
Yeah.
find what you want to say and get it out and like let it be. Like it's okay. It's all true. You just have to get it out. I I guess yeah, I have a lot of advice, but I'm like I for someone who's just like needing to like ask for help, I'm just like, yeah, just get it out. Just say what you need to say. If you need to write it down and hand it to somebody, do that too. I used to do that when I would have like really tough emotions. I became very good at writing and would just give people letters. And that's how I would communicate. And that is okay.
I love that. Nike says just do it. Steven says just get it out.
Get it
You
out.
got this, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for listening to Normalize the Conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. This podcast is an initiative of Inspiring My Generation, focusing on normalizing the conversation, bringing education and awareness to the forefront, and amplifying global voices to spark change and hope. Inspiring My Generation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization on a mission towards suicide prevention through awareness, conversation, education, and support. Connect with us on Instagram at Inspiring My Generation and visit our website inspiringmygeneration.org to learn more about our work and how you can make a difference.